Welcome to Model Engineers Laser. My name is Holly and this is part 13 of our jack build. In the paragraph it does say about making sure that you're working left to right, but our entire last video was about swapping over the left hand side and the right hand side. So you need to remember when you are building this that we have inverted it and reversed it all over. I've just moved the camera and my building frame so you've got a better shot of what I'm doing now. So we're going to now fit through this hole here and this one here. Now our lifting link, the holes in them are tapped, so they're going to fit behind as a result. Now I need to do a bit of tweaking. I'm going to fit the top one first just so I can then adjust this while it's in place to give myself a bit of space between my fingers. So that should slide through there quite nicely. And then I need to screw it into the lifting link behind. Now, the trick to remember with this is not to do it up too tight because it won't freely move. But also you don't want it ridiculously loose. The whole thing rattles and rolls all over the place. So that's just taking a bite there, so I'm just going to turn that back a little bit. And then put a little nut on the back. My little tool to tighten that up while it fits. Oh, it's way too big, that one. Nipping it up tight. There we go. Too tight. No. I should have done my disclaimer at the beginning of the video, shouldn't I, and said these videos are not one of a professional nature, but we got there. There we go. So we've got some play in that. It's quite loose, free going there. And then the next job is to go through our radius rod, which is why I said fit that one first, because we can move that to make sure we get it in the right place. I'll just start with my finger to make sure I have it in the right place, and then I can put my nut on the back. There we go. And then just pinch that up. On the back to make sure it is tight. Just picking it. It's better. It's better. There we go. And we've got some movement in there. And now just to repeat the same on the other side. Having done that, we are now coming to fit the reach rod. Little bit of confusion now because in the roundhouse instructions they call it a reversing rod. We call it a reach rod. Most of the places call it a reach rod. So there's just a little bit of confusion. If I start saying rod, you go, oh, instructions say reversing rod. I do apologise. I know it is a reach rod and that's what we mark it as on our website. Now, when Roundhouse have provided theirs, this is it in the kit. Now, for some reason, ours was in the Lady Anne boiler box rather than in the chassis kit. So I don't know if that's me have put it in the wrong box or if that's where it came. So you'll see there's this forked end here on this long line. Now, how this is supposed to work is that these are incredibly tight, and I actually can't do it with my fingers, but these prise apart and snap onto this part here, where this end goes through the opposite end of here. I'll spin it around to be able to see. If you remember from my previous video, there's a little hole in there. Quite turn the frame round enough. You can just about see there's a little hole in there where that would insert into there. I'm not really liking that idea as a method, so we've made a more sturdier one in this reach rod. However, we have followed the instructions that came in the magazine where it tells you how to make this bit of kit, and we have noticed an error. So they say it should be 83mm, and having put it against it, it is short. It needs to be 93mm. So there's been a little bit of a longer gap between takes of videos, having sussed out that the instructions are wrong, and we're going to have to do a bit of tweaking on that and reorder a new part. So we can't fit the reach rod in this video until we've got a new part. So we're going to take a slight diversion and get prepared for the next stage of our build. Taking advantage of having to wait for the parts, we're going to step on to getting ready to fit our Smokebox. So we can do this while we're waiting for the part to arrive. It's up to you if you do it now, if you're building along, or if you want to go and do a bit of shifty about with videos as we post them and fit your reach rod, but it's not going to make too much of a difference. So this is our Smokebox wrapper former. Now this is our version and not the one that is listed in the article in the magazine. The one in the magazine, you have to get a square bar and turn it, which enables you to rivet the sides to the Smokebox, and we just think it's a little bit easier to build and put together. As part of the kit, you get the two, these are identical, and this is just a piece of 1/2 inch mild steel, but you can use anything 1/2 inch. It's just to keep the two parts aligned as we do the wrapper. So I've just put those in there and get a little hammer. I've put a bit of wood on here just to take, the clock's going to make a noise now. There we go. Just lining them up and not. It's just to keep them together. There we go. It's not even about getting it flush. It's flat. It's going to sit flat on my table, and I've not even glued it because it's only going to be used this once. Now, in your Smokebox wrapper kit, you get quite a few parts. Just to clarify what we're going to use for this bit when we're doing this part, we don't need the bits that haven't got the tabs where the Smokebox wrapper are going to fit in. So you've got a plain ring and you've got one with a smooth edge and no slots for tabs to fit in. So we need those later, so we don't need them for this bit. You're going to need these. One of them has a smaller circle than the other. The one with the smaller circle is the front, because that's where your Smokebox door sits, and that one is the back one. So when we're lining them up later, remember that this one is the front one and the other one is the back. The side of your Smokebox wrapper that has no rivets sits at the front, so it's going to go that side when we do our tweaking, and that one with the rivets sits at the back. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you sort of get them the wrong way when you're lined up, because as you can see, oh, not the camera, sorry, as you can see, they are in line, but just to allow for twisting and things, it's not going to be perfect. So we're going to need those shortly. The next thing I need to do is take off these tabs to use later and not lose them, sorry. I've just run and got a file out of Ed's workshop. So these just snap off quite easily. Don't lose these, we need them later. So if you watched our previous video, you know I've got a little mini IKEA sandwich bag on the go. I've got all my little bits in that I need later. So they don't go missing. Put them on there, and then we need to take the little burrs off from the top. It's difficult doing this to get it on camera to how you would normally do it. I'm just going to pause the camera because I'm just going to file this off, and you don't need me to take up video time just watching me file off burrs. Okay, I've just filed those off and taken off the rough edges that's been created by the filing. Now, the next stage, which should be easy, but because I've got hyper bendy joints, as you'll see, as I push on that, my thumb bends the wrong way, and it's the same for all my other fingers. Not going to lie, I've accidentally deleted a video I didn't want to delete. So what we have done here, in your Smokebox wrapper, there is a hole in the middle where the chimney comes through. That's going to be a weak point when you bend it. So this bit of metal is just what I used in a previous video as a riveting jig. You can see the holes just in that side there, what I used for riveting. And then I've clamped that in to make sure that the point stays against my jig here, and Ed has just kindly bent that round for me, just with his hands, I mean, because his fingers don't do the weird things that I do. For this last bit here, it is going to be a matter of brute force to I stopped filming because I could see that it was going to be a lot of banging for not a lot of visual impact. So as you can see, that's been tapped around. I mean, it's not a perfect squash at the bottom, it doesn't need to be. It's this top bit and getting a near smooth flat curve on there as we can without any bends or dinks in it. So now I'm working on the front, so the side without any rivets, and this is the front. So this is the piece that has the smaller hole but has the slots for the tabs that are on the Smokebox wrapper. Now this is the bit that's going to require a lot of patience, and I've already done a little bit of work, so don't think it's a lot easier than it is. I haven't done all the work. So the first thing I've done is taken a file to the ends of these tabs here just to pinch them, because as we've bent them, where it'd be square set like this, as we've curved it, the edges are going to do this, and that means they're not going to fit in the slots properly. So I've just taken a file to them to make them the right shape that we need to be on there. So there's no tip to this really, it's a matter of start with one and work your way around. And so that one has gone in quite nicely. That's lined up, but it's not going to go in quite well. Let's start and look at that end. And that's gone in. Put the two ends in there. Just not strong enough. So yeah, you can see there that that's just slightly proud, and that's not going to go in there. I don't want to hit it in for the sake of it in, because it's just going to bend the slot, and that's not what I want. I'm only tapping it when I know that they're in line, because like I said, I don't want to damage them. So these two need a little bit of tweaking. I know that they're lined up, it's my top two there. So I'll put that there and get my former back. And what I'm going to do is just tap it on the edge there. Just let them hang over slightly because I need them to go in. Because although they're flush with the former, I need them to bend down ever so slightly. Try to do this around the tripod that the camera is on. You can hear her going, "Mummy, you're being loud." Building a steam engine is a loud process. So we knew those went in quite nicely with a bit of persuasion, stronger than I can do with my fingers. Oh, there we go. So that one looks like it's nice in line now. I might need to take the file to that in there slightly. And that one needs taking down a little bit more. So it is do a bit, test a bit, do a bit, test a bit. Let's have another go. Make sure I got that the other way around from what I did previously. Not that it's handed, but lining it up will be. There we go. You know what? That should go in. I can see daylight range, so you should go in. It is. Are you going to come and help? Okay. So this is a hammer.
Mama.
Hammer. You say hammer?
Mama.
Right, good job. So you hold it with your right hand because you are right-handed.
Yeah.
Like that, sit near the bottom because you get more of a swing. Right? And then you hold what you're hammering with this hand. Put your hand on like this. That's it. Keep your fingers careful out the way. And then we go. Great tapping. Can we do it? Turn it round a little bit. That's it. Hand on the top. Watch your fingers. Gentle tapping. Good job. Good job. You can do some more if you want to. There you go. Hold it. Yeah. Pick up the hammer on the flat end.
Mama.
Yeah. And good job. Watch these fingers. Good job. What do you think? Have a look. Inspect your work. Your fingers. Yeah, you need to watch those. It is a circle. Good job. Yeah, it's a smoke box. Yeah, smoke box. Can you say smoke box?
No.
Try again. Say smoke box.
No.
Good job. That was a good try. There we go. So that, I think we'll leave it there for this video. Yeah, because the next job is to solder this, and that is something I don't want your help with.
How?
Yes, because you're a little person, but also when I put this on here, I don't want to start adjusting this to make sure I can get these on and have this end pop off, because it's taken a lot of work and a lot of tweaking. So I'm going to solder that in place first. Don't mess with the camera. It'll make people go all wibbly if you move the camera. So, yes, I really don't want your help for the next bit. So our next video will be soldering this side up, attaching this. You're being noisy. Hey. I'm trying to tell people about what we're trying to do. So, next video, we're going to solder this up. We're going to tweak and attach this side and solder this up. And hopefully our reach rod will have arrived by then and we can finish that part of that bit of project too. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like the video. It spreads its share out a little bit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and you'll see some of the other stuff we post as and when we do. And we'll join you in our next video. Thank you. You say bye, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Good job.